Hello everyone, this is CA Shradha and I welcome you all to my channel, The Commerce Bench. So as your exams are approaching, class 11th examinations, so I am here today to cover a very important chapter with you all that holds around 10 to 12 marks weightage in your examinations. Okay, now this is a very big chapter, hence if you go on to revise it on your own, then it will become a little difficult because it takes a lot of time. There are so many adjustments in this chapter that it will take you a lot of time to revise on your own. So today I have come with a solution for this. We are going to do all the 19 questions that are in your TS Grewal. Even if you are following DK do not worry because the concepts are going to remain the same, right? You can still watch it. I am going to show you all the questions and then I will solve them. We will not go into too much details today. We will just cover that how you are going to do the treatment of all the adjustments that are coming. Okay, so this revision video is for those students who have done this chapter once and are looking for a quick revision for it. Okay, and they do not want to spend their time doing it all over again. Fine. So let's begin this quick revision, and I am guaranteeing you, if you sit with me throughout this session, then you will get a solid revision of this chapter, a very good practice and a very good grasp, okay, on this chapter. Do not worry about anything, and we are going to cover everything today, all the important points and all the important questions. I'm going to cover all the questions for you, okay? So let's begin this. So as I've already told you that do not expect to go into a lot of details because the concept I'm not covering over here. Okay? I'm just going to tell you the treatment of all the items. Okay? So let's start this video. In question number 1 though, I am going to solve the whole question for you right from the trading account till the balance sheet matches. But from the second question onwards, I am just going to discuss the adjustments with you because these things start getting repeated. Okay, there's no point of doing that again and again because that is going to take a lot of time. Fine. So I'm just going to do this question with you and then I'll discuss all the adjustments and all the important points also. If anything important comes up in the trial balance, then also I'll discuss it with you. Do not worry. Fine. Let's do it. Let's read the first question. Following are the balances extracted from the books of Gurman on 31st March 2023. So we are having certain balances over here. These are coming from your trial balance. Okay. And then you are given certain adjustments either below the trial balance you are given or it can also be given above the trial balance. Here we are having it below the trial balance. Fine, no problem. Now, the items that are given inside the trial balance, those are already adjusted in the books. So, we are going to write these things that are inside the trial balance only at one place. Always remember that this is the first basic rule. These things you are going to write at just one place, and anything that is coming in the adjustment or in the additional information that you are going to adjust at least two places. That's it. Okay, this is our basic rule. So these will be adjusted at two places at least, and here these things will be adjusted at one place. Okay. So my rule is that I first deal with the adjustments and then I move on to the trial balance. Fine, because there are chances otherwise that you will forget one or two adjustments from here, or you will not be able to relate from which thing it belongs to. If you start doing this first. This is just my style. You can have your own style. Okay. Let's start with it. So what you have to do is you have to prepare a trading and profit and loss account and balance sheet as on 31st March 2023. Let's start. Closing stock was 16,000 rupees. This is our first adjustment. Now this you are going to get in every question and I'm damn sure you're going to get it in your exam as well. 100% you will get it. So first thing is closing stock was 16,000. I told you it is going to be in two places. First step that you're going to do is make a trading account for the year ended 31st March 2023. It is very necessary to write this line for the year ended because we are making this because this is showing me the operations of the whole year. The profit that I am going to get at the end of this account at the end of the profit and loss account, which is joined with this kind of, you can say. So that profit belongs to the whole year. It belongs to the operations that were carried throughout the year. That is why we write for the year ended. Then you are going to, after leaving some space for the trading and PL account, you are going to make a balance sheet, and it is very important to write as on year. You always make a balance sheet as on year ended 31st March 2023. 3. So this is made on a particular date, that is at the end of the year. This does not belong to the whole year. The balances that you write over here show only the balance of this particular day. That is why we write as on in balance sheet, and in trading account we write for the year ended. This is the second rule for solving these questions. Fine. Now coming back to this, we had to write closing stock 16,000 rupees. So first place that we adjust it in is in the trading account. This is the debit side of the trading account, left side, and here is the right side, which is called the credit side of every account. So same is the rule for here as well. So we are going to leave some space for sales and all. I hope you remember the format of trading account. If not, then we'll get it from this question. First, we are going to write buy closing stock over here and write 16,000. First adjustment. Second place that we are going to adjust it in is closing stock is an asset for us. Okay? We are going to sell it in future and it is going to give us future economic benefit. Hence, it is an asset for us. So we are going to write it in asset side. Closing stock, we are going to write 16,000 rupees. Simple. We are writing it on the asset side. Then let's come here. Depreciate plant and machinery at the rate of 10% and delivery vehicle at the rate of 15%. This definitely means that we are having a machinery and a delivery vehicle inside our trial balance. So let's find it and see the balance of it. This is plant and machinery 1,20,000 and this is delivery vehicle 26,000. These are not adjusted yet. So we still have to make this adjustment of depreciation. That means we did not adjust this depreciation during the year. These are not depreciated. Fine. Hence, we have to do that thing now. How are we going to do it? Depreciation is always written in the profit and loss account. That is the only thing that we are going to do. First adjustment, and second, since I told you these are not adjusted for depreciation yet, these are not depreciated balances. Hence, we are going to show it as depreciated balance. How? We are going to calculate this 10% and reduce it from 1,20,000. We are going to calculate this 15% and reduce it from 26,000. That is how we are going to do it. Fine. Let's not go into the details now. Okay, I'll calculate it now. So 10% of 1,20,000 is 12 lakh rupees. Let's first adjust it in the asset side. Okay, how are we going to write it? Let's write plant and machinery. Plant and machinery 1,20,000. I am writing it in the inner column because I still have to adjust it. And let's reduce the depreciation from here. Please do not use such short forms in your exams. Why am I doing 10% of it? I know the 10%. It is 12,000. Okay. And then you are going to write 1,08,000 rupees over here. Fine. This is my depreciated balance. Now I am showing this true and fair balance, which should have been actually shown. Now I am showing that. Plant and machinery is done. The second thing is delivery vehicle. Let's do the adjustment for that as well. So delivery vehicle was, I think it was 26,000 rupees, and the depreciation that we had to do was 15%. Okay. So it is 3,900. Let's reduce it. 22,100 is our balance now. Fine. This is the final balance of my delivery vehicle. I have written this. But I told you this is going to be adjusted at two places, the depreciation. This was inside the trial balance, plant and machinery and delivery vehicle. I have written this once in the balance sheet. Done. Now we don't have to do anything about it. But this depreciation, so we have to write at two places because this was outside the trial balance. So we are going to write this 12,000 and 3,900 in the profit and loss account. Let's take it there. Now I leave some space, assuming that I will make up my trading account in this much space. Okay? And then let's start our PL account. To depreciation. First thing is plant and machinery's depreciation we are going to write, and then delivery vehicles depreciation. Please do not use these kind of short forms in your exam. Okay. So plant and machinery maybe you can use 12,000 rupees, and in delivery vehicle we were having 3,900 rupees depreciation. So this becomes 15,900 but let's just check. Yes, I don't want to get anything wrong and waste any more time on this. So it was 12,000 and 3,900. We have adjusted this depreciation twice. We have made that sure. Now, rent outstanding at the year end 500 rupees. What does this mean? we have to find how much rent have we paid during the year. This is our rent. Also, keep marking, okay, whichever thing you have already posted inside the trial balance. So keep marking that. We have done these two items, so we have marked it. Okay, we have done it. Because sometimes what happens is by mistake you can do double counting as well. You have written one thing, again you write it. So that will lead to double counting. Do not do that. Rent is 4,500 rupees, and since it is saying in the adjustments ki rent is outstanding, 500 rupees is outstanding, means it is still standing at as a liability. I had to pay 500 rupees also in this year only, because this expense belongs to this year. As per accrual concept, hence I am going to include this expense, 500 rupees expense, as this year's expense only. So what will I do? Let's see. At two places I'll adjust it. So in the PL account I am going to write it like this. To rent, first let's write how much have we paid. 4,500 is given inside the trial balance. So one adjustment of the rent that is given inside the trial balance, we have done that. Now we are going to add some amount of outstanding rent to it. 500 rupees. Why? Because we had to pay this in this year only, but we did not do that. So as per accrual concept, we have to show this as an expense of this year, because this belongs to this year. Okay? Accrual concept, what does it say? Ki every expense and every revenue that is belonging to a particular year, you have to record it in that year only. Bhale you have not paid for it or not received it, that doesn't matter. If it belongs to this year, record it in this year. That's it. So this belonged to this year, so I have recorded it now. So the total expense should have been 5,000, and that I have written in the PL account. I hope this is clear to you. But this though we have adjusted once. This we have to adjust at two places, because this was outside the trial balance. Okay, so this is what? Outstanding rent. I have to pay it in future, right? It is a liability for me, because it has to go outside my pocket, out of my pocket. So I am going to leave some space for capital and write here outstanding rent as a liability. How much? Only 500. Please note, keep students do this mistake. By mistake they write here whole 5,000 rupees. That we had written over here now, they write it as their liability. But please note, we have already paid 4,500 rupees from this. Only 500 is the outstanding liability on this date. Clear to you? Okay. Only in the first question I'm explaining so much, okay? Don't worry. In then all the other questions, we will not do that. Fine. We are done with all the adjustments. Now let's move on to the things that are given inside the trial balance. Let's adjust it fast. Capital, let's write. So capital is always written on the liability side, first item. How much was capital? Sorry, I did not see. 1,90,000. Then there was drawings. Drawings you always reduce from here. 7,000 rupees you will reduce from here. Then these things we have already treated on the asset side, so we will not write them again. Sundry debtors is 36,000, always written on the asset side. Because they will give me money in future now. This is my future economic benefit, 36,000 rupees. Sundry creditors, I have to pay them off. These are always liabilities. So 49,500. Okay. Purchases is 20,000. Let's write it over here. Purchases. While I write the answer, this thing, the name, I always forget the amount by that time. 20,000. Okay. Sales is 42,000. Sales is always written on this side. By sales 42,000. In fact, I should have written this also in the inner column. Let's write it in the inner column, because there might be any returns. So I'll write this in the inner column. Please forgive me for that. Then we have wages over here, 8,000 rupees. Wages are always written inside the trading account. Why? Because wages are what? Which we are paying to the laborers for working in the factory. Hence, it is directly affecting our production. That is why we are writing it in the trading account. So we write it like this. Two wages. See, 8,000 na? Okay. Let's write it here. Then we have cash at bank, 26,000 rupees. cash at bank 26,000 rupees. Then we have salaries of 8,000 rupees, and repairs also, both of them go to the PL account. So 8,000 and 1,900. 8,000 and 1,900 is repairs. So let's write it here. Both of them go to the PL account. Okay. Then, because salaries is what? Salaries is something that we give to our office staff. Hence, we write it in the PL account. Wages is something we give to our factory people, the laborers. So, that is why it comes in the trading account. It is directly affecting our production. It is not directly affecting our production. That's why. Fine. Rent we have already written. Stock on 1st April 2022. This marks my opening stock. Because I am making all this on 31st March 2023. So obviously this 1st April 22 is my opening stock. So 16,000 rupees. We are going to write it here. To opening stock. We don't need to write it inside. 16,000. We can write it outside. Okay. Then we have this we have written. Manufacturing expenses. Now in the trading account we are going to put this. Why? Because this has the word manufacturing in it. Okay? This is something that you might have seen for the first time. That is why I have put a star mark over here. So manufacturing expenses means it is directly writing the word manufacturing, means it is directly affecting my production. So hence I'll write it in the trading account. 1,500 rupees. Let's write manufacturing expenses 1,500 rupees. Okay, I'll just write the full form only, no worries. Manufacturing expenses. Okay, let's get back here. Bad debts, these are written inside the trial balance. So 5,000 rupees we are just going to write in the PL account. We are writing them off. Bad debts of 5,000 rupees. Okay, this is 5,000. Okay, then we have carriage inwards 1,600 rupees. So carriage inwards is always a part of your trading account. To carriage inwards, it was 1,600 rupees. So 1,600 rupees we are going to write over here. Now all the items we have posted, there is no problem. There was no purchase return. So we are going to write this in the outer column now. There was no sales return. So we are going to write this also in the outer column. 42,000 rupees. Okay, fine. Now we have posted all the items and we have also done all the adjustments. Now is the time to find out our gross profit first from the trading account. Then we find out our net profit or net loss, whatever it is. And then we finally post it to the balance sheet and try to match it. Okay, let's do it. Here I have not left enough space. You do not have to do it. Leave enough space in your examination. Don't try to save paper on that day. Okay. So this side is 58,000. This side is 47,100. So that means we are getting a gross profit. Yes. So let's write here 58,000 and 58,000. Let's subtract 47,100 from here and we are going to get our gross profit. Let's write in the bracket transfer to PL account. Okay? This is always transferred to the profit and loss account. So if we do that, we are going to get a profit of 10,900 rupees. Fine. Now let's write it over here by gross profit. So we are going to bring it down over here, 10,900 rupees. And now we don't have any other incomes. So we are going to reduce all the expenses from here. 24,900 rupees is my net loss. Net loss is always written on this side. So we are going to write it 24,900. And what was the total over here? So it was 35,800. 35,800. Yes. Finally, we have a net loss 24,900. Now we take this net loss here we always reduce net loss from the capital, because capital is something that belongs to the owner, and any net profit that we are earning during the year or any net loss that we are incurring, that also belongs to the owner, right? Because this whole business, who is carrying that out ultimately? It is the owner's business. So any profit or any loss also belongs to him. So we are going to adjust it in capital only. So net loss was how much? 24,900. We are just going to write 24,900 here and write the final amount in the outside column. It is 158,100. Now we have everything here. Let's do the total and see whether our balance sheet is matching or not. Okay, it is 208,100. अब दिल थाम के बैठिए. वैसे तो this is a very simple question, so obviously it is going to match. The level of happiness that you get when your balance sheet matches, na, as a commerce student, only a commerce student can understand that. So here we have matched the balance sheet. Fine. This was the only question that we took so much time for, because I have done the whole question here. I just wanted ki in the first question at least you get the whole revision of all the things, ki which things are put where. From now on we'll be doing the adjustments only. Okay. And any important points, obviously I'll tell you if there is any unique point in the trial balance. Let's come to the second question then. Read it. Again we have to do the same thing. Trading and PL account we have to make over here also, and the balance sheet obviously. Now let's straight away come to the additional information, to the adjustments. Fine. First one is closing stock was valued at 14,500. So as many times as we are doing this, now this will just get stored in your head and you will not have any problem recalling it in your exam. Trust me with this. I have passed my CA final examinations. This has helped me so much that I revised with my teachers, because when you do it yourself, it takes so much of time. But if you are doing it with somebody, then it doesn't take so much time. So first thing that we are going to write is buy closing stock. So closing stock is how much? 14,500. First place we did it in the trading account. Then we will write it in the balance sheet, 14,500. Two places. 14,500. Okay. After that, we have depreciate plant and machinery by 4,000 rupees. Let's find plant and machinery. Here we have it. 40,000 rupees plant and machinery we have. Depreciation is not adjusted over here. That is why it is given in the additional information. Okay. This is the undepreciated value. So 4,000 rupees we have to depreciate. Plant and machinery was 40,000 rupees. But now we have to depreciate it by 4,000 rupees. That means the actual value of my machinery was what? 36,000 rupees. So now I have shown it for all the users of my financial information ki dekho bhai, my machinery is actually at 36,000 rupees. Fine. Okay. Then the second place that we have to write depreciation is in the PL account. So if I assume ki my trading account will close over here, so you can also make it, after leaving some space, there's really no problem in that. I'm going to write to depreciation 4,000 rupees in my PL account. Okay. Now, one trick point can be, sometimes in your exam, what they can do is, instead of writing ki depreciate plant and machinery by 4,000 rupees, they can also say depreciate it to 4,000 rupees. What are you going to do then? This will mean ki you have to depreciate it to 4,000, means you have to bring down the value to 4,000 rupees. That means how much are you going to depreciate in that case? 36,000 rupees. Then it will be 36,000 rupees. And the same treatment you are going to do that you have done for 4,000. Now you will do it for 36,000. You will write it 36,000 over here, and 36,000 you will minus from here. The final value will become 4,000. Exactly what the question would be saying to you. Fine, this is just a trick point that I am giving you over here. Now, let's read on. Write off the bad debts 5,000 rupees. Now pay attention. Here also we have a bad debts. Inside the trial balance we are having a bad debts of 2,000 rupees. And then this is some bad debts that we are getting 4,000 rupees, that is written outside the trial balance. What is the difference between both of them? The difference is this 2000 rupees is already adjusted in your sundry debtors. 24,000 rupees mein this bad debts is already adjusted. Means what? My actual sundry debtors would have been 26,000 rupees during the year. But what happened during the year, I came to know, before 31st March 2023 only, I came to know that somebody has become insolvent or whatever, would not be able to pay my 2000 rupees. So what would have I done? I would have reduced my 26,000 rupees, may say 2000 rupees I would have reduced, and finally 24,000 rupees is coming in my trial balance now. So I can say this 2000 is already adjusted in 24,000 rupees. Fine. So this 2000, though I am just going to write in the PL account. Let me show you how. I'll write here two bad debt of 4,000 rupees. This is the original bad debt that happened during the year. But this bad debt, right here, sorry, I wrote it as 4,000. This is 2,000, okay? This is 2,000 rupees. This is the original one that happened during the year. Next, what happened? After 31/3/2023, I came to know that I have further bad debts. Matlab somebody else has also become insolvent and would not be able to pay this 4,000 rupees. Now, this 4,000 is not adjusted over here. So, what do we have to do now? We have to show the real value of our sundry debtors to the people who are looking at my balance sheet. What do I have to do? I have to adjust this at two places because this is here as an adjustment, as additional information. The first place that we are going to adjust it is, I am going to write here further bad debts. Here further bad debts. I am going to write ki 4,000 rupees se bhaiya my bad debts have increased. So total bad debts are now how much? 6,000. This is my first place that I adjust it in. And the second place I write it is, I am going to write my sundry debtors over here of 24,000 rupees, and I'll reduce this further bad debt from here 4,000 rupees, and I'm going to show everyone ki dekho bhai, actually though my sundry debtors are 20,000 rupees only. So I will not inflate the value and show you, I will show you the real value. Why did we not reduce the 2,000 rupees bad debts? Because it is already adjusted from 24,000 rupees. That is why. We will not subtract it again. That's why. We did not write it over there. We just reduced 4,000 rupees. I hope this is very clear to you. So this is the second place that we adjusted it in. Here this 2,000 rupees wala to we just wrote at one place only, and this we wrote at two places. This was inside the trial balance and this is outside. Got it? Let's move on. 400 rupees is due for repairs. That means whatever amount we paid for repairs, that is 500 rupees, that was what I had to pay, but 400 rupees also I had to pay. 400 also belongs to this year, but I just paid 500 rupees. So this is not fair according to the accrual concept. I should write 400 rupees also as this year's expense only. And how should I write it? I'll write it like 2 repairs. 500 so I have already paid, well and good. But I should have written 400 also. I should have paid 400 also in this year only, because the 400 rupees expense also belongs to this year. But I did not do it. So what will I do? I'll now include it as an expense of this year. So I will write the complete expense as 900 rupees, because this whole 900 rupees belongs to this year, whether I have paid it, whether I have not paid it. I have done my accrual concept thing over here. Fine. To get 900 rupees. Now this is one place that we adjusted it in, outstanding repairs. In the second place that we are going to write it in is in the liability side. We have already discussed in the previous question, so I'll not explain it again. I still have to pay it now, that's why I'm writing it. 400 rupees over here. This is the second adjustment. Now we have completed all the adjustments. All the adjustments are done. And I'm not going to discuss this, as I already told you. This is one unique point that I want to tell you. They are going to sometimes write like this: electricity expenses 1000 rupees, and in bracket they have written factory. When they write factory, you are specifically going to treat it in the trading account. So you are going to write it like this: to electricity expenses. And because this belongs to the factory, means this is directly affecting your production. So this how much? 1000 rupee. Okay, 1000 rupee is going to affect your production, hence you write it in the trading account. Now imagine ki they would not have written this factory over here, means this was not written, then you would take it to the PL account, assuming ki it is your office expense, office electricity they are talking about, and hence you are going to take it to the PL account. This is an indirect expense in that case. But since they have clearly mentioned factory, so we are taking it to the trading account. I hope this is clear to you. Fine. Let's move to the next question. Third question. Let's come to the adjustments first. Okay. Outstanding salaries were 45,000 rupees. You are going to find the respective expense over here. That is salaries. We have written it over here. Ki 50,000 rupees salary. This that is coming inside the trial balance. This is showing ki we have already paid 50,000 rupees salary. We also had to pay this 45,000 rupees. This also belongs to this year only. So how are we going to write it? Suppose our trading account is ending over here and I am starting my PL account from here. So this is two salaries. I am first going to write whatever is given inside the trial balance. This we are going to adjust once. Then outstanding salaries. Outstanding salaries are always added to this. I have already told you this in the two previous questions. So we are going to write 45,000 and hence our total expense that should have been shown actually in the PL account is 95,000 and we have shown it. Okay, anything that we have already paid and that anything that we should have paid is already we have written in the PL account. Okay, 95,000 rupees. Now this has to be adjusted at two places. So the second place that it goes in is outstanding salaries 95,000 rupees. Oh, sorry. See, I am doing the same mistake. You are going to write it only as 45,000 rupees. The whole 95,000 is not your outstanding salary. Only 45,000 is your outstanding salary. And this is something that is going to go out of your pocket in future. That's why it is your liability. Next point, depreciate machinery at 10%. So let's see where is machinery. Debit side, obviously you're going to search it in the debit side. So machinery is 4 lakh rupees. We have to depreciate it at 10%. Okay. Now always see ki whether there is any other information given related to the machinery, ki when was the machinery purchased, because if something like that is given, you will have to depreciate it accordingly. For example, if you have used the machinery for only 6 months, so you are going to put the depreciation for 6 months only, right? But there is no information given in here. That is why we are simply going to do 10% of 4 lakh rupees. So first place that we are going to adjust it in is here, key machinery, we are going to write 4 lakh rupees and we are going to depreciate it. So this is the first place. 40,000 rupees is the 10% of 4 lakh, hence this is 3 lakh 60,000. Okay, then this is the first place that we adjusted it in, and here is the second place that we are going to write it. To depreciation 40,000. Write it as an expense in the profit and loss account. Okay, depreciation is also done now. So wages outstanding were 5,000 rupees. Where do we write wages? We write wages in the trading account because this is directly affecting our production process. So wages is 50,000 rupees that we have paid. Sorry, wages is 1 lakh rupees that we have paid. So we are going to write here to wages 1 lakh rupees. This though we have already paid. Some more amount we should have paid because this belongs to this year. We have taken the services from the laborers in this year only. This 5,000 rupees service we have taken in this year. Hence, this expense belongs to this year. So 1,05,000 is the total expense that we are going to write in the trading account now. Okay. The second place that we are going to adjust outstanding wages is the liability side. So we are going to write 5,000 over here. Simple. Okay. Rent prepaid 10,000, new point. So rent prepaid, that means let's find rent first. Rent, how much have we all paid? 45,000 rupees. It is saying that out of this 45,000 rupees, 10,000 rupees is prepaid. That means we paid it in advance. Let's see how we are going to treat it. First, though, we are going to write how much we paid, like we always do. Inside the trial balance, how much is given? 45,000. Now it is telling me कि the 10,000 rupees that I am saying now that is in advance, it does not belong to this year. We have not taken the rental services of that 10,000 rupees in this year. So should I include it in the 45,000? No, it does not belong here. So I am going to reduce it from here to prepaid rent. I will just reduce from here 10,000 rupees and I'll write the legit amount that should have been written in the profit and loss account. That is the 35,000 rupees. Only this much service I have taken in this year. Only this much I will write. Okay? According to the accrual concept again. Okay. So we have adjusted this at one place. Second place that we are going to write it in is asset side. Why? Because this is something that I have already paid for. I don't have to pay for it in the future and I will receive a future benefit from it because I'll be able to use the rental service in future. So I am going to write the prepaid rent amount over here as an asset, 10,000 rupees. I hope you understood this. Let's move on to the next point. Provide for interest on capital at the rate of 5% per annum. New point again. So what happens that there is this owner and then there is business. So what is happening? The owner is giving capital to the business. This capital is helping the business run. What happens then next? The business should pay some interest to the owner. Because imagine, instead of the capital, the business would have taken any loan from the bank. In that case also, the business would pay some interest to the bank because it has taken the loan. So now, since it has taken some funds from the owner, it again has to pay some interest. Okay? That is why it is paying on this amount, it pays some interest. What is the capital? Let's see first. Capital, you will not find it on the debit side obviously. Capital is always given on the credit side. So we are directly going to see on the credit side, the capital is 9 lakh rupees. Owner has provided 9 lakh rupees to the business to run its operations. Okay, fine. On this 9 lakh rupees only, business will pay some interest to it. How much interest? 5% interest. So it should be 45,000 rupees. Now, what is going to happen for the business? It is an expense. Okay, because it has to give it to the owner in order to run. So it is an indirect expense. We are going to write it in the, let's write it like this, to outstanding interest on capital because we haven't paid it. So this we are going to write as 45,000 rupees and also write how we have calculated it. On the 9 lakh rupees capital, we have calculated 5%. And this has come out to be 45,000 rupees. This is the first place that we are going to write it. This is the expense of business. Hence, we wrote it in the PL account. Second place that we are going to write it in is, this increases the capital balance. So, if the capital was 9 lakh rupees, after the owner gets the interest on capital, the capital would increase. Because this capital is representing the owner, this interest on capital is also representing the owner because both of them belongs to the owner. We have given this to the owner now, so this increases the balance of the owner in our company. Fine? Okay. Now let's see the next point. We have adjusted the interest in two places. First, we have written it in the PL account as an expense, and next we have written it in the balance sheet on the liabilities side. Okay. Stock on 31st March 2023 was 8 lakh rupees. This is so our very pet adjustment. We are going to write by closing stock in our trading account 8 lakh rupees here and 8 lakh rupees in our asset side also. So this is my PL account. Closing stock of 8 lakh rupees. Okay, fine. Now we are done with all our adjustments. At two places each we have written all our adjustments. Also, there is no new point in here in the trial balance. So let's move on to the next question. I hope you have understood all these points. If any problem in any question you have, you can comment in my YouTube comment section. Okay. Fourth question. Okay, now we'll start moving fast. So the first thing is closing stock we have 64,000 rupees. Let's adjust that. No explanations now. Buy closing stock 64,000 rupees. Okay, and the second place that you want to write it in is closing stock 64,000 over here in the asset side. Next is wages outstanding 2,400. Let's find wages over here. Wages we have paid 4,000 rupees. Wages, take a 4,000 hai na? Yes. So first we'll write two wages in your trading account debit side, and then we are going to write some outstanding wages. How much wages are outstanding? 2,400 rupees. So we are going to write the outstanding wages. This belongs to this year, 2,400 rupees also. Hence we are going to write the full expenditure 6,400 over here. Second place, outstanding wages, only 2,400 comes here. Understood? Then interest rate of bank loan is 8% per annum. It is talking about some bank loan. Let's first find what item is it talking about. So bank loan, there has to be a bank loan. This is the bank loan. How much is it? This is 25,000 rupees ka bank loan we have taken. Okay? And 25,000 rupees ka bank loan we have taken. Now also see one more important point. Loan from the bank was taken on 1st October 2022. It has also told us the date ki kab we took the bank loan. So how many months have passed since we took this bank loan? So we took it on 1st October. We are standing on 31/3/23 now. So how many months have passed? Only 6 months have passed. So how many months of interest should I give to the bank? Only 6 months interest. Okay? So 6 months interest we are going to calculate on the bank loan. So it will be how much? 25,000 into 8% into 6 by 12. Only 6 months interest we are going to calculate on this. So this will be 1,000 rupees. Okay? 1,000 rupees interest we should have paid to the bank, but we have not paid it to the bank. This interest on bank loan should come in our profit and loss account. This is an indirect expense. Hence, if I think this is the end of my trading account, if I assume it like that, so I should have written to interest on loan. Acha. Now, we should also check for one point whether we have paid any interest out of this 1,000 rupees, whether we have paid anything to the bank. Where can we find that? Obviously in the trial balance, because if we would have paid any interest to the bank, it would have come in the trial balance. Let's find it. So have we paid any interest? No, we have not paid any interest to the bank, otherwise it would have come here. So suppose there was one point over here, interest on loan, and in the debit side they would have written, suppose 600 rupees they would have written. Then what would we do? In the PL account side, what would we do? Suppose this is our PL account, we would have written it like this: to interest on loan, 600 already paid, this was inside the trial balance, plus outstanding loan, outstanding interest on loan, and we would have written 400, and ultimately 1,000 only would come in the outer column of the PL account, because 1,000 is something that we should have paid in this year. Doesn't matter how much we have paid, how much we have not paid, 1,000 should be a part of this PL, this year's PL. So we would have written it like this. But what is the current scenario? There is nothing like this. There is no item like this. We have not paid a single penny in the name of interest to the bank. So the whole amount we have to write as outstanding. This whole amount is outstanding, and 1,000 rupees we are going to write like this in the PL account. Okay? Whole amount is outstanding. That means the second place that it goes to is outstanding interest on loan. Whole 1,000 goes here, because whole we have to pay to the bank in the future. Think, two places we have adjusted this also. One in the PL account and two in the liability side of the balance sheet. Fine. Next is bad debts of 600 rupees. Let's see how much is our sundry debtors. Sundry debtors are here. 20,600 rupees is my sundry debtors. Do we have any other bad debts that happened during the year? We don't. That means before 31st March 2023, we did not know about any bad debts as such. Because if we would have known, it would come here somewhere. But there is nothing like that. So this 20,600, so we are going to write once in the balance sheet, debtors 20,600. Now, bad debts, how are we going to adjust that? Let's see. How much bad debts do we have? 600 rupees. So first place that we are going to adjust it in is to bad debts. We are going to write it here as 600 rupees in the outer column only. Now imagine there would have been any bad debts during the year. So we would have written it inside here, and then we would have added this further bad debts to them, and final amount we would have written in the outer column of the PL account. I hope you remember the previous questions that we have done. I told you about further bad debts. But here only these bad debts happened after the 31st March we came to know about this, and hence it is coming as an adjustment to us. So this we are going to adjust at two places. First place we have done as an expense, we have written it off in the PL account. Second place, we are going to reduce it from here. 600 rupees bad debts will reduce. 20,000 is the amount that we are going to show over here. Because why? Because this is not the amount that we are going to get in future from our debtors. Whole 20,600, so we are never going to get. 600 rupees, the debtor came to me and told me I cannot pay you this 600 rupees. So why should I show this whole amount as to my users of the financial statement? I wouldn't show them that. To anybody who is looking at my balance sheet, he or she should see that 20,000 rupees is the amount of my actual debtors. Fine. This, okay, we have done this also at two places. Now let's see. There is something called provision for doubtful debts, and this is very important. Okay? So this and bad debts. So I am very sure that 95% this is going to come in some or the other place in your examination. Either this can come as an MCQ, or this can come in your 8 to 9 marks question as well. Okay, as an adjustment. So let's learn this. How are we going to do this? What is exactly provision for doubtful debts? I am just telling you in a summary. This is something that we are making because of the prudence concept. Conservatism concept, also remember this word. We are making this due to prudence or conservatism concept. What are we thinking over here? We are looking at the history of the debtors and seeing that there might be some debtors who can do bad debts in future. They have not done any bad debts as of now. In the current date, they have not done any bad debts. But we are anticipating a loss. What does prudence concept say? If there is a loss that you are anticipating, please record it right now. But if there is a profit that you are anticipating, do not write it, do not record it in your books unless you realize it. This is the thing that your prudence concept says. Now, because of that only, if I am seeing a probable loss in future, some of my debtors might not pay me, and there might be a bad debt in future, so let's preserve some amount beforehand only. Okay, so this 5% that you are seeing na, provision for doubtful debts to be made at 5%. So I am just thinking that out of my sundry debtors, I think 5% might default in future. So let's just preserve some amount beforehand and let's get prepared for this future loss. That's it. How are you going to adjust this? Look at your sundry debtors over here. What is the final amount of my sundry debtors? 20,000 rupees is the final amount that I have till now. This 5% provision that we are talking about, we are going to make on this 20,000. Please get it stored in your head. You will not make it on this amount. Why? Because this 600 to already has become bad. Now there is no doubt about it. Doubtful debts provision to we make on only doubtful debts, that is 20,000. We might receive amount from this or we might not. But this, so we are confirm about this. Now we are not going to receive it in future. Okay? So we'll make the 5% on this. 1,000 rupees. Now what am I going to do with this 1,000? I have been told to make a provision. In the PL account, I am going to make this provision. See how? This is my PL account. So I'll write it like this. To new provision for doubtful debts. You are going to write it like this. and 1000 rupees you are going to set aside in your profit and loss account. You are going to set this aside from your profits. Okay, you're going to, you can say you just put it in a gullak. Okay, you can imagine a piggy bank and you put this 1000 rupees in that piggy bank. That piggy bank is in the name of the provision for doubtful debts. We are going to break this open whenever we are getting any bad debts in future. Okay, today we are not going to utilize it. We just set some profit aside for this future uncertainty. Got it? So whenever we are making a new provision on doubtful debts, we will make it on the debit side of the profit and loss account. We will write it as an expense. See, this is the credit side. Okay, first place we did over here. Second place that you are going to write it in is from this 20,000 rupees only. I am getting a doubt na ki this 1,000 I might not get in future. So we have to show it here. How you are going to reduce this new provision from your sundry debtors amount. This is your 19,000 rupees now. This is what you are going to write and show to all the people who are reading your balance sheet ki dekho bhai, see, this 19,000 rupees is the amount that I am anticipating I will get in future. Forget about this 600, I am not getting this for sure. This 1000 also, I am not very sure ki I'll get it. Thus, I am telling you ki bhai, this is the final amount I might receive in future. Let's not keep any secrets from anybody. I am going to show the exact amount that I am anticipating. Fine. So, two places we have adjusted this, where first is in the PL accounts debit side, and then second place balance sheet ka asset side mein from the sundry debtors you are going to reduce it. Okay. And on what amount did we calculate it? This 5% from debtors minus the further bad debts. Okay? On that amount only you are going to calculate it. Bas. Enough about this. Let's write this. Rent is paid for 11 months. Means what? Let's find rent here. So rent is over here. How much rent have we paid? 22,000 rupees rent we have paid. And what is it saying? Ki rent is paid for only 11 months. Means this 22,000 rupees rent is only for 11 months. That means how much rent do we give for 1 month? 2,000 rupees. 22,000 divided by 11. 2,000 rupees is something that we pay for every month. Now, please understand ki if I have taken the rental services for whole 12 months, I should have paid for whole 12 months. The whole 12 months expense belongs to this particular financial year. So I will show this 11 months plus the 1 month rent that I have not paid according to the accrual concept in as my expenses in the PL account. See how we are going to write it. First we'll write to rent the original amount that we have paid. 1 month rent is outstanding. How did we calculate it? 22,000 divided by 11. That's how we did it. So 2,000 rupees. We are going to add this and show 24,000 rupees whole as my this year's expense of rent. Second place that we are going to take it in is outstanding rent of 2,000 will be shown as liability because I have to pay it in future. I have only paid for 11 months as of now. Next point is insurance premium is paid per annum ended 31st May 2023. What does this mean? Ki suppose, I do not have any space to explain this. Let's understand from here. Ki if I paid insurance premium, how does insurance premium work? So we suppose ki we paid it on 31st May 2022. I paid for my insurance premium. How much did I pay? Let's see. Let's find insurance premium over here. I paid 36,000 rupees. Thick. Right. 36,000 rupees I paid on 31st May 2022. This insurance premium was paid, is paid per annum. That means this amount I paid up till which date? 31st May 2023. Okay? But in the middle comes 31st March. That is my closing date. 2023. This is my closing date. I need to close my books on this date. So please realize कि we have paid an amount of 3,600 for one whole year. But how many years of insurance service have we actually taken in this year? From First June till 31st March we have taken. That means June, July, August, September, October, November, December, Jan, Feb, March. 10 months of service we have actually taken insurance services. The rest 2 months, that is April and May, that belongs to the next financial year. So this wala, ye wala jo expense hai, this should not be included in this financial year's expense. Means what? If I have paid how much? How much amount have I paid? 3600. So I will write it like this: to insurance 3600. But out of this I realize कि भाई 2 months insurance premium that I have paid, that belongs to the next financial year. So I should not write it in this financial year. So I will reduce that. This is kind of prepaid or unexpired insurance. Prepaid insurance premium. How much? 3600 was for whole year. You divide it by 12 and multiply it by 2. तो you will get it कि 2 months का जो आपका insurance premium है, that is 600 rupees. ठीक है? 3000 is the expense that belongs to this particular year. This is the actual amount. I hope you understood it. We have paid something we have prepaid something, so this comes to us as an asset. So we are going to write prepaid insurance premium here as 600 rupees as an asset. Fine. This so we have already discussed. There is no problem in this, I hope. This point so we have already done. Ki loan from bank was taken, so we took a 6 months interest. है ना? ठीक. Finally, provide depreciation on machinery at the rate of 10% and furniture. You know this also. Okay, so we are not going to do this. Just find both of this furniture and plant and machinery and apply depreciation as per the rate that has been given over here. This rate 10% and 5%. Where are you going to write it? First place, PL account, debit side. Second place, you are going to write machinery and furniture on the balance sheet's asset side, and then you are going to reduce the depreciation from there. Okay? ठीक है. Now all the adjustments have already been discussed. ठीक है? One important point over here is power. So you are getting power and you are getting an amount on the debit side. It is an expense obviously. Whenever power word is given, already you have to assume that this belongs to the trading account and not to the PL account. Whenever we say power, we always mean that we are talking about power that is used for operating the machineries. ठीक है? So you already assume that this belongs to the trading account. Or you get power and electricity, then also it is trading account. But if you get electricity, only electricity, then assume it as office expense and you are going to write it in the PL account. ठीक है? Or if ever you get electricity and bracket में there is factory, then तो obviously it is trading account, you know it. ठीक है? Trading account. I have told you everything that is unique in this question, or all the adjustments also we have discussed. So today I think we have taken enough time to do this, and instead of saying that I am not going to explain the concepts, I still have explained the concepts and I hope you understood it. So today we are going to keep it till here only, and we are going to move forward at a faster speed in the next lecture. Okay? Because then I am not going to do any full question and I will not be explaining any concepts that I have done today. Only new points will be discussed in the next questions lecture. Okay? So do not worry about it. Do not worry about the speed. It was our first lecture, that's why it took some time. Fine. Just keep studying with me. I assure you, you will have no problems doing this chapter. I'll see you in the next lecture now. If you have any problem, you can contact me through my email ID. I am giving you my email ID over here. It is CACHASHRADHA@commercebinge, that is the name of my channel, .com. Okay? It's all in small letters. You can contact me through this. If you want to take any classes from me, I also give classes. Contact me through this email ID. And if in case you have any queries related to this video, you can already always post it in the comment section. I'll be happy to help you out. Okay? If you like this video, please like this video because a lot of efforts go into making these videos. and share it with your friends. Let me know if any improvement points you have for me. Okay, I'll do that. And that's it from my side. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next video.